Okay, so light weights, good morning. Light weights in your hands, fingers long, right? So when we hold the weights, we don't always have to grip them tightly. Shoulders, let's roll them up, back, and down a couple times, loosening them up. When you roll them down, let the weights pull the shoulders out of the ears. 2 more times like that. And then I want you to add a bent elbow and add just a little bit of locomotion movement here to get a little bit of exercise and movement in your shoulders as well as some strength. But I want you to be careful that you're not doing this with your body, right? So you're holding those abs in, making sure those ribs are pulled down, even as you go through this big range of motion. And now we're going to reverse that. So we're going to lift up to the back, come forward and down. And again, we're being careful not to have movement in our body. So we want to keep that core nice and strong. Fingers are reaching. You should feel this in your shoulders by now, I hope. Last 2. Last 1. Drop your left shoulder out of your ear. Let your head rest to the left. Let that weight give you a little stretch here. Come up, let's go the other way. Sorry, I'm gonna move my computer a little bit so I won't be headless. Okay, and then just roll those shoulders up, back and down. We're gonna turn our thumbs to face upward, and then we're gonna lengthen our tailbone, pull our abs in, pull our ribs down, bring those arms straight in front of you. And again, notice if you tipped, try and keep your weight even a little bit in your toes. Lift them a little higher if you can, out a little, up a little, out a little, up a little. And you're just gonna continue with this, making sure that you only go to the point where you can keep your ribs pulled down and your shoulders out of your ears. You might be able to bring your arms by your ears, but a lot of times that'll pop those ribs, so you figure it out. And then I just want you to inhale, breathe tall, exhale, pull your ribs down. Inhale to grow tall, exhale, ribs down. One more time, inhale, tall, exhale, ribs down. So, you know, during class, we're gonna many times have our arms by our ears, and we just wanna make sure when we do that, that doesn't tip our spine and open us up. So come on down, bring your weights with you. You're going to come into a seated position, please, at the front of your mat. And we'll have those weights on each side. We're going to take just a single weight and put it behind the hamstrings. And we're going to hinge back so you have some extra weight out in front of you. You're going to exhale, pull your belly button in, and roll yourself up. So inhale or exhale back, inhale, hold, exhale, pull it up. So just kind of, you know, nice and easy here, right? Warming up that spine, curling, lifting. Good. And then finally on this last one, hinge back, walk your little feet back, bring that weight to the fronts of your shins so that you could just gently roll down with control. Move that up on top of your shin and let that weight press down to give you maybe a deeper stretch in your low back. And you'll just take a little rock side to side. And then we're going to bring those arms, palms underneath the weights, arms out in a T position, legs are going to lift into tabletop, not way in here, but over your hips. And then let them drop to the left, nice spinal twist. Just take a moment, enjoy that opening. To come up, bend your left elbow, lift your right knee, and press back through center nice and easy. Find that tabletop again, extend those arms, and let the knees stay stacked up as they drop to the right. And then again, we'll bend the right elbow, we'll lift the left knee, and then we'll come on back up through center. All right. Weights down by your side, legs tabletop. For ab prep exercise, I'm going to tell you how you can use those weights if you choose to use them during class. Deep breath in, Exhale, float the head, neck, and shoulders off the ground. And on the, what am I doing? Feet are on the ground, sorry. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, come down, inhale. Exhale to lift up, inhale, arms reach overhead, exhale down. So that's your simple ab prep. If you wanted to use a single weight, you would lift up on the exhale. On the inhale, reach the weight up by your ears, abs stay flat, exhale down, inhale. Exhale to lift, inhale to reach, and exhale down. If you wanted to use two weights, you have a couple options. You could put one weight in each hand, exhale to lift, inhale, arms reach up by your ears, exhale down. Inhale to prepare, exhale to lift, inhale, arms reach, and exhale down. The other way you could use two weights is to stack them up and hold them together. So you'd come up, you'd inhale, reach those arms overhead, and you'd exhale down. You're gonna feel this more in your neck today. So the other option to get the benefit of the weights without too much stress on your neck is to exhale up and then bring the weights behind your head, right? Make sure your elbows are open, not pointing to the ceiling. So keep them open. Exhale down, inhale. Exhale, lift, so you can feel that extra tension. Inhale, hold. Exhale down. Be careful when you come down, don't smash your skull into your weights. And the last option, if you're doing that, when you come up, if you wanted to, you could extend for a moment before you support your head with those weights. So those are lots of options. Sorry, too many options, and then take a break. But from here on out, you're going to choose whether you want to use one weight, two weights, double them up, single them, support your head with them, however you want to do it. There'll be a few where I have weights below your legs, but for now, let's go tabletop position. And we're going to do single leg stretch. So you might want to have just both weights in each hand, or you can switch back and forth. Exhale, head, neck, and shoulders float off the ground. We're going to lift those arms up. You're going to extend your left leg as you reach your right arm overhead. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, right leg and left arm reach. And inhale, center. Exhale to reach. And inhale, center. Exhale, reaching. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach. Inhale, center. Last two. Good. Head, neck, and shoulders down, taking a break. You're going to take one weight below your knee and hold it in between your calf muscles. So wherever you feel like you can hold it solidly, and then palms open, shoulders open, back of the neck is long, tabletop, ribs pull in. For toe touch, you're going to exhale, pull your belly button in. And on the inhale, legs move away from the body, and then exhale, come back up. Now my range of motion got a lot smaller than usual because even though these weights are only a few pounds, it made my legs much heavier. And therefore, as always, long, heavier lever is going to want to pull that spine up off the ground. It's going to want to let those belly muscles pop up. So I only want you to go where you're in control. And remember, your knees stay in tabletop the whole time. And when you lift, I'd like you to slow it down on the lift, right? Slow it down on the lift. It's not a swing up, it's a slow, controlled lift, a little bit better. And you only lift to the point where your knees come over your hips, not in. Better. All right, and then let's take a little break and grab those weights again. Maybe start with a single weight or no weight. We're going to go into double leg stretch. And again, I'm going to build from there. So if you have that single weight, it's in your hands, both hands. Deep breath in, exhale to lift. Inhale, extend and reach arms and legs. On the exhale, you'll just tap your knees, right? So that's option one. You can use both weights. I would suggest being really careful as you sweep down, keep those palms open. And then when you go overhead, keep those thumbs rotated towards the same direction. So it's kind of palms open the whole time. And then finally, if you want one last challenge, you put one weight below your knees, right? Just like we had it a moment ago, and then one weight over your head, right? So now you have resistance above your waist and below your waist. And of course, if your neck is bothering you, you could just do the legs, support your head. Any variation that you would prefer. And then we'll take another little break. All right, let's put those feet down. We'll give that upper body, that neck area, a little break. Take both weights and stack them up on your left hip. And take your hand and just press down, right? So you're just holding those weights in place. You're not gripping them, just pressing them down. And then we're going to press into our heels and our right hand to come up in a bridge. And then we want to really test this out. Are your hips even, right? Hips even, sacrum even. Right hand can be down, or for a little extra challenge, it could lift. But for now, let's keep it down. Right knee comes up and in, extend it up in the air. Keep the left hip lifted, lower and lift your right leg. And again, you could hover that right hand for a little extra work and see how that left hip is wanting to move a little bit. So do your best to stabilize through your glutes. Two more. Beautiful. Right knee in, bring it down, hips come down. Shift those weights over to on top of your right hip. Right hand simply presses them down. Make sure this is in a position where it doesn't feel uncomfortable, by the way. Left hand down by your side, press into your heels to come up into your bridge, lift a little extra high, see how your arm would be out or down. Left leg up, extend it. You're going to lower and lift. And again, for that extra challenge, the left arm hovers, and we really keep that awareness of what's going on in the right glute, the right side of your body, so it stays nice and quiet and stable. Good. Left knee in, bring it down, hips down. So that should have given a little extra love to that bridge position. Hug those knees in, hands behind your hamstrings so you get a little extra space there. Take a little rock side to side if you want to. Kick your legs, get a little extra boosty hamstring. And then hug the knees in, take both weights and put them on your ankles. Curl your head towards your knees, open your knees just the tiniest bit, and we're going to roll like a ball. Exhaling to roll, inhaling to pause. Exhaling to roll, inhaling, pause. On this last one, I want you to stay paused at the top, toes off the ground. If you're rounded, lift up through those shoulder blades, good. Then bring those weights around and lift up your legs with them for just a second. Hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feet come down. Bring your weights beside you. Maybe tuck your hands underneath them if you can. Lift yourself up. Widen your legs so it's almost as if you're going to do a tricep dip. But instead, you're going to swing those hips behind you, right? So now you're in an extended position in that upper back. We're coming into spine stretch. You can leave it here and simply flex your toes back towards your face with bent knees. If you have more flexibility, you can straighten those legs or partially straighten so long as that torso stays lifted and extended. And then we'll sit nice and tall. All right, we're going to bend those knees again. We're going to put all 10 toes on the ground. shoulders up, back and down. Let's grab a single weight. So we started class with that weight behind our hamstring. Now we're going to have it in front of us. So hands out in front of you. Exhale, hinge back, pull your belly button in for roll down. If you want a little more challenge, lift your arms a little higher with that weight. Lower your hands before you try to come up, and exhale, sit tall. Inhale at the top. Exhale to hinge. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower the hands, and inhale at the top. So we exhale back. We inhale, hold, and maybe lift those arms. Exhale up. If you want to add a second weight, one weight in each hand, exhale, hinge. Option to open them into that T position. Be sure you lower your hands before you try to come up. Bring it back. Open into that T. Good. And then, as always, you do the T. What would happen if you did a V with the weights, right? A little extra challenge. Make sure you're lowering those hands before you try to come up. And of course, the last option, next to last actually, would be to bring those arms up over your head, right? So you figure out what's working best for your body, T, V, or I, or just that single weight. You're going to do just 2 more, and then we're going to do a little experiment. On this next one, sit up, and let's put one weight in each hand. Hinge back, lift your arms maybe to that T or that V or that I, just whatever is challenging for you. So I want you to see the difference. You're not going to lower your hands. Try to come up with your hands where they are. And just see how that was for you, right? We're going to try just a couple more like that. And we're going to add on to that. So we're going to exhale, hinge back, do something with your arms, and then see how it is to come up like that. If you're able to do that, you're going to see if you can go down like that. What? Keep all 10 toes on the ground. Don't let those toes lift up. So you're going to try to keep your arms wherever you have them. If that doesn't work for you, that kind of makes sense. And so you know what to do. You lower them instead. Good. All right, next time you come up, take a break. So I'm hoping that you found that it was way harder to do with your arms up, right? Unless you did this, right? And did some funky weird thing where you let your arms come forward and pull you up. So same idea, we're going to use that for our roll up. If you can't do roll ups, you're going to stick with the roll downs with the weights. So if you know you need to stick with that, have your weights in your hand or not. If you can do a full roll up, you're going to roll all the way down a vertebra at a time. And then we just learned it's going to be easier, more productive if we keep our hands low as we try to come back up a vertebra at a time. If you can do a full roll up, you could extend your legs and point your toes. If you're not doing roll ups, you know these don't work for your spine, they don't work for you at all. You're here in that roll down. And again, you have those options. You can do what you want with your hands, and then you roll back up, right? So you choose roll down to roll ups. We're just going to do 2 more like that, please. All right, and then sit tall. Okay, we're going to do one last variation. For those of you who are having trouble doing the roll-up, we're going to see if adding the weights to the full roll-up would actually make it easier for you. So you're going to straighten those legs, you're going to point those toes, you're going to lower the hands by the mat. You're going to exhale, roll down a vertebra at a time, unless you know you have some spinal stenosis or osteoporosis, and maybe this is a bad idea. And then you're going to imagine dragging your knuckles along the ground to try to roll up with control, a vertebra at a time. And those weights in your hand, no kicking those legs. And you're going to realize that having those weights in the palms puts more weight out in front of you. And that might allow you to do that roll up. And if not, then I want you to go back to the roll down. Do what is best for you and your body. Now I'm going to give one final option, and that's only for those of you who are pretty advanced, and that would be to do the roll up with the weights on your shoulders, right? So on the way down, it's not terrible, but on the way up, you wonder why someone is pushing against you, right? So again, you can't kick your feet out. You just have to see if you can make it. And if you can't, you would, of course, bring the weights in front of you. All right, 2 more of whatever you're doing. I know that was a lot of options. And then when you come back up to a seated position, we'll probably come back to some rotations with that in a few minutes, but let's give that a break. Turn on your side facing me. Bring your weights with you, please. And let's stack everything up. So knees, hips, ankles are stacked. Torso is in a straight line. We're not folded at the hips. We're lengthened out, and then we lift that waistline, right? So we create that mouse house. Then we're going to take one or both weights, place them on your top thigh. And again, you're just going to use your palm to push down on them, not gripping and holding. And then from there, we'll start with just a regular lift here. Ankle and knee come up at the same time. Nice and slow with control. Keep the foot flexed a little bit. Make sure your waistline's still off the ground. Last one like that. Bring your heels together and point your toes slightly apart. And let's turn that into a clam. So now you're rotating open, working those rotator muscles. And now you're going to lift your feet, go into that Pilates V, and do the clam from this position. So I'm hoping that your outer hip is feeling these by now. Mine is. All right. Last thing we're going to do is straighten those legs long so you can't really see them. You might have to, move the weights a little closer to you so you can hold them. You lift that top leg, bring it in front and behind. So you're making a big circle, just 3 more in this direction. Trying to keep the torso quiet. And then reverse, other direction. And relax. Ooh, I hope that top hip feels this. So let's give it a little bit of TLC here. And then we'll flip over to the other side. So once again, we're going to stack knees and hips, ankles, arms resting directly underneath your ear. Waistline is lifted, and then weights are right on top of your thigh or weight, either one. And we flex through the heel and we lift in a straight line, knee and ankle equally lifting. Good. Then heels come together, separate those toes a little, keep the waistline lifted, and we pivot open for a clam. Good. Knees down, heels lift, back in that V, and we lift here. Two more. Good. Now we go to that straight-legged position, really lengthen out. Again, bring the weights a little closer to you so you can hold them. Top leg is going to lift, and we make a big rond de jambe, big circle, trying to keep the torso quiet. And reverse. And relax. Ooh, yay. Give that hip some love. And then put each weight on the other side, each side of your mat to roll over onto your abs. All right, we're going to lengthen one leg and then bring it down. Lift the other leg, lengthen it, and bring it down. So the tops of your feet, shoelace side, toenail side are on the ground. I want you to lift your kneecaps, right? Engage those kneecaps. And then slide your hands underneath your weights, palms facing the ceiling. So we've mentioned, and by the way, pull your belly button in to protect that back a little bit, give those glutes a squeeze. We've mentioned in this position how those shoulders slope forward. So the first thing I want you to do is just lift your shoulders off the ground. And we're going to do a few moves like that. Arms are staying down and they're staying straight. I'm going to center my head so it's not awkward on one side of my neck. Last two. Last one, shoulders lift, arms straighten, arms lift, and we reach. And then we're going to come down. We'll start with those shoulders lifting and rotating in, straighten the arms, and we lift and reach. And down. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift, reach, stretch, and relax. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift, reach, stretch, inhale, hold. Exhale down. Again, inhale, prepare. Exhale, all 10 toes are staying on the ground. Back of the neck is long. Good. One more time. Exhaling to lift, stretch, reach. Rotate those pinkies slightly towards each other so those shoulder blades are engaged. See if you can lengthen your arms and lift them a little bit and then relax down. All right. You can let your weights come off to the side. We're going to press back and let those hips sit back on your heels. Arms in front or by your sides. As always, you can make little fists to give yourself more space. Good. As we come forward, we're coming down onto our forearms. We're going to let our hips drop down, shoulders out of your ears. From here, so we're going to go into our plank, hands are apart. You could even put your weight between your hands to remind you not to bring your hands in. Squeeze the shoulders back, lift the collarbone away, lift the chest away, lift the ribs and the belly button. So you're on your forearms, your knees, and the tops of your feet pretty much, and that's it. Listen up. Keep everything how it is. Tops of your feet, lift your knees. What? So it's kind of a different plank on the fronts of your feet. Really feel it. Back of the neck is long. And drop down. Take a little break. Bend your knees, windshield wiper. We have another plank. So let's come back up, plank position. This time you have options. You can do whichever kind of plank you normally do, or you can do that one again. So shoulders back, collarbone, sternum, ribs, belly button, and then again, you can either tuck your toes and lift into a plank, or you could go onto the fronts of your toes and lift into a plank. And we'll relax. And this time, we're going to come onto all fours. We're going to walk our hands a little bit to the right, and we're going to bring ourselves through that cat-cow undulating to the right. Keep that going for me. And then walk back through center, hands come over to the left, and we undulate. Beautiful. And then square everything up. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. From cow, I want you to keep your shoulder blades engaged. I want you to bring your head neutral. Keep that tailbone lifted, but pull the belly button and the ribs in. So support yourself in a neutral spine. Then you're going to take one weight behind your left knee. You're going to flex that heel towards the knee. And then you're going to see if you can lift that leg so the thigh is parallel with the ground. Right? So it's basically bird dog here, except with a bent knee. You can stick with that, or you could try lifting your right arm. Or you know it's coming, you could try lifting your right arm with a weight. And then you have the option to make small lift and lower movements. And then we'll come down. Ooh. We'll round through cat. We'll inhale through cow. We'll find that neutral by pulling the abs and the belly button in, and we'll put a weight behind the right leg. We're going to try and lift that up so it's parallel to the ground. You can stick with this. You can still do that little extension, or you can add the left arm, or you can add the left arm with a weight. And then everything comes down. Ooh, all right. We're going to stretch out that back, but we're going to do it from our spine. So we're going to roll all the way down, bring those weights one behind each leg, drop your heels down so those weights are secure, and then hug those knees in. So again, a little extra weight pushing down. So I want you to think about pushing your legs down towards your hip sockets, but then also pulling your knees up and open, right? So we're pressing down towards the floor, up to our forehead, and open. So lots of stretch going on here. And then if you want, you could take a little rock side to side. You could even play push me pull ya with your hands pressing on the insides of your thighs. All right, and then we'll put the feet on the ground, and we're going to take the weights in our left hand. And just make sure your wrist is nice and strong and solid. It's not cocked, right? Fingers can be long if you want, but if you're holding two weights, that might be more challenging. Right hand to your left rib cage. Deep breath in. Exhale, pull your ribs down. Abs in. And as you reach the weights by your left ear, you should have to use that left rib cage more. In other words, your abs. And then lift that arm straight up. So we're going to inhale up and over. We're going to make sure the ribs don't pop. And we're going to exhale back. Back of the neck is long, so tuck that chin so you can lengthen out. Two more. Now, I want you to bring your arm over your ear again, bend the elbow and straighten it. Little tricep, bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Abs in. Now we put those together, bend, straighten, lift, up and overhead. Bend, straighten, lift, up and over. Overhead, bend, straighten, lift. By your ear, bend, straighten, lift. Reach. Good, just two more like that. Ribs in. And bring that down. Bring those weights into your right hand. We'll stretch out those triceps in short order. Arms straight, left hand on your right rib cage, back of the neck is long. As you bring that arm by your ear, make sure you keep controlling that right rib cage, and then we come straight up again. Up and over, and above. By your ear, and straight above. And now we go up and over, and we bend and straighten, elbows sky high, pinky towards the ceiling. Good, and now we bend, straighten, and lift. Up and overhead, bend, straighten, and lift. Up and overhead, bend, straighten, lift. Again, up and over, bend, straighten, lift. Up and over, bend, straighten, lift. 2 more times, up and over, bend, straighten, lift. Bend, straighten, lift. Bend, straighten, and lift. Very nice. All right. No weights. Just find yourself in a rolling up position. Take a moment, right hand to your right shoulder. Pull back for a little tricep stretch here. And then hand to the center of your spine. And then to your left. Shake that out. Left hand down to the left side. Center of your back and right side. And shake that out. All right. As promised, a little bit of seated rotation here. So feet on the ground, one weight in each hand, hinge back. Don't go too far back, right? We don't want to grind those vertebrae because you're just going to be rotating side to side in that hinge. No movement forward and back at this point. Now, if you want, just go back to the forward back, right? And finally, you can put the 2 things together only if you want. You exhale back, you inhale open, you exhale up, you inhale top. Exhale back, inhale pivot, exhale up, inhale top. Exhale back, inhale open, exhale up, inhale top, exhale back, inhale open, exhale up, inhale top. One more time each way. And relax. All right. Okay. Little side plank here with the weights. So you're gonna, as always, give yourself a little extra support for your elbow if you need it. You know which kind of plank you want to do with your lower body. This shoulder we want to protect, so push it back, lift up out of it, engage those lats, lots of space between your ears and shoulders. 1 weight or 2, you choose, come up in your side plank. You're gonna lift that arm over your head and lift the hip a little extra. Again, and just 2 more like that, again. And then I want you to take the weight and put it on your hip. And again, only 1 finger is holding it there. Now press up against the weight, press up against the weight, press up against the weight, press up against the weight. Last time, press up, back into your hand, over your head, hip lifts. Overhead, hip lifts. 1 more, overhead, hip lifts. Now weight to your hip, press up, press up, press up. Overhead for 2. Press up for 2. Overhead 1. And press up for 1. Ah, woo. Come up. The leg that was underneath comes in front of you. The other leg goes in the back. And then the arm on the side you just worked is going to lift up and over. And I know it's going to be kind of rounded through that rib cage. I'm fine with that because you're going to pivot and bring that arm down. And then pull yourself into a nice stretch. Come back up. Bring that arm behind you. And we're going to go the other way, even though we didn't use that side too much yet. And come up. All right. Switch your legs. So now you know which side to go down on. You knew that anyway. How else would you be facing the camera? All right. And again, before we do our side plank, push back the shoulder. Lift up, engage the lats. Space between your ear and shoulder. 1 weight or 2. We come up in that plank. First one, we open in that C shape. Lift that hip as the arm comes overhead. 1 more. And then the weight to the hip, and you push up. And push up, and push up. Weight in your hand again, lift up, and up. 1 more, lift up. Weight to your hip, press up 3, and 2, and 1. Overhead for 2. Good. Hip up for 2. 1 of each. Up and over. Hip lift. Whoo. As you come down, the bottom leg comes in front. The top leg comes behind. And we reach up and over to the other side. And then drop towards that bent knee. walk yourself forward, bring it up, open to the back, and then over to the other side. Beautiful. All right. Let's use the weights to give us some love. So we're going to make our way back onto our spine, weights under each hand, palms open. And we're going to keep our fingers under the weights, but I want you to drag them up so you're kind of in an 11 o'clock and a 1 o'clock position and feel that extra stretch. While you're doing that, bring the soles of your feet together and let your inner thighs flop open. Press your big toes and your little toes together and every toe in between. Just feel a little openness through your body, inner thighs, and nice chest stretch here. Keep your legs how they are. Slide your arms down to 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Slide your hands out from under the weights, bring them to your thighs, and press the legs up. Then grab a single weight and put it behind your right knee and pull that right knee in using the dumbbells. And then drive that knee in a circle on the ceiling and go the other way. And then pull that weight so the leg comes off to the right, left leg to the left. And then bring that back through center, straighten out your left leg, flex through the left heel, and pull that right knee in nice and close so the rib and the thigh attach. And then you're going to slide the weight so it can push against the calf and keep the knee in at the same time. So my rib and my thigh are connected, knee is bent at 90, so we're getting that hamstring stretch. And then finally straighten that leg, holding on to that weight, point it, flex it, point it, flex it deeply, hold it, hold it, hold it, rotate, and rotate. Then you're going to bend the knee, and as you do, bring that weight to the outside of the right leg, right arm to the side, and use that weight to bring that right leg across and feel that extra stretch again, just because the weight is hanging out on your leg. You could put the other weight in your right hand so you get more opening across that chest, and you can bring that right knee all the way across to the left if you like. So again, from the right knee to the right fingertips, deep, long stretch. And then let's pivot back through center, weights in each hand, open your right leg, figure 4, put one weight on your right inner thigh and the other weight on your left hip. So I'm pressing the right thigh open and the left hip, I'm pressing down so it doesn't lift all the way off the ground. And then I'm going to put my right foot on the ground outside of that left knee so I can tuck that left knee underneath, weight behind the left knee, hug that in, big little, or big crisscross here. And then that other weight, once again, is under my right arm as I let both knees drop to the left. And then as you come back through center, you can move that weight over to the left side and the one weight behind the left knee. We're going to hug it in and then pull it to the left and back through center and then pull it to the left. Let it hang out there. Give it a tug. Let the right leg open the other way. And then pull it all back through center. Straighten your right leg, flex through the right heel, press the back of your right leg down. And then hug that left knee in so you're putting the rib on the thigh, or the thigh on the rib. When you're ready, flex through that left heel, but keep your knee right into your chest. And then finally straighten that leg, point it, and flex, and point, and flex, woo, and point, and flex, and rotate. And then as you bend the knee slightly, you'll bring that weight to the outside of that left thigh. Let it come across your body. My left hand is going to slide under that weight. And then nice twist. As you come back through center, cross the left ankle over the right thigh, one weight on the inner thigh of the left side, one weight on the right hip. And then put the left foot on the ground, tuck the right knee behind it. Put that weight behind that right knee one more time, hug both knees in, take a little rock. Your left hand can slide under the weight as your knees drop to the right. And then you can leave both weights where they are on either side of your mat. And you choose how you want to meet me in a tabletop position. And let's round through our cat and cow, please. And then finally, we'll tuck those toes, high plank to down dog. Feel free to pedal out your feet, walk closer. Wide stance, hang out over, bend your knees, hands on your thighs. Meet me halfway, and let's do one more cat and one more cow. From that cow position, shift your weight into your booty and your heels, hands to your heart, bring it up. Happy Saturday. All right, let's find out the name of a female donkey.